Hey, everybody, it's a full house.
Let's get this show going, man.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans by fans, with your hosts, Jesse Martin.
The Cowboys are finished, you understand me?
John Taman.
Pull down my trousers and do your job.
Scott Hartley.
Well, that was dreadful.
And occasionally, Keith Gray.
So many social engagements, so little time.
And now, your host.
Hey, that's me. I'm John Taman. I am your host. And as you can see today, we have a full boat. And you know what that means? It's March 1st. And it says in Keith's contract that every quarter he has to put in an appearance. And I guarantee you in about 15 minutes, his computer will go up. He'll start going like this. Every once in a while, he'll hit his microphone button so it sounds like he's cussing. Fuck. Anyway, nice to see you, dude. How you doing? Down there in the bottom corner on the right-hand side, for any of you new folks that have not been here for the last 2 years, that is Keith Gray, and he is the founder of the show.
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm happy to be on. You guys are doing a great job with your show, and thanks for having me on as a guest.
Now, dude, I understand you're going to be doing some fucking dad positivity TikTok stuff, right?
I have been, yeah, actually.
Right, so, plug it if you want.
I mean, I guess if you want, you can follow me at KG.
All right, that's enough. I'm just kidding.
He says through a mouthful of grape nuts.
I know. You can follow me at KGskins26, same as the Twitter. Really, all I'm doing there is kind of just learning how to use that platform. I'm doing cool videos that is doing stuff with my kid, anything sports related. I'm doing Commanders, doing fitness. I just, I know that I'm a little bit too old for the TikTok, apparently. From what I've been told, but
who cares? Be the old guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be the old guy. And listen, I love Twitter and everything, but with my Twitter, I made it just football related content, and I'm kind of past that, so to speak. Like, I don't mind getting on it, chatting with you guys, here and there, but I want to do some cool shit with my kid, man. And in order to stay with my oldest and where he's at in his life, TikTok is where it's at, unfortunately, and I have to learn that platform. And if I want to do cool shit with him, I got to learn what I'm doing. So,
all right. So I'm guessing we're 6 months away from Keith with a broken coccyx from going to the skateboard park with his kid.
What I am trying to do though that I thought would be really cool was something, being at the draft last year. One of the things I would have loved to have done. Was go live, and it's hard to do when you're using StreamYard to go live and to not freeze up and things like that. So
see what happens? You curse out our fucking platform and the whole thing shits on you.
I know. So I thought it would be pretty cool if I was able to go live on TikTok and really give the inner circle perspective of how things are, so you guys can see. And some of you may already know, but so you guys can see how all of this works. I mean, it's fascinating, but when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, I totally get it, but you're seeing it through a different lens, and that's kind of what I wanted to bring. But getting to 1,000 followers, good luck. You got to push out content for anyone to follow you.
Clothes off. That's how you do it. Hey, is this appearance on your podcast part of your positivity tour?
Yeah, absolutely.
It is? Listen, I hear in the inner circle that Jets fans will give you a blowjob.
Ooh, that's weird.
All right, so I don't want to see that on your TikTok. Anyway, to continue on around.
No, but I do want to put this. I do want to put this show on the TikTok, man. I want to reach out to more people.
I'm ready for the TikTok, even though I don't use the TikTok, and I will not use the TikTok because fuck you, China. And anyway, over here's a guy who's here every goddamn week. Do you have anything special to say, Jesse? I swear to God. I mean, how are you going to compete with Keith down there?
No, I'm good.
All right. It was good to have Keith on the show because, as soon as he gets the microphone, you're good for 5 minutes. You got plenty of time to finish your fucking cornflakes there or whatever you were eating. Of course, down here on the bottom left, our good friend from Barrow and Furnace, UK, Scott Hartley. Now, Scott, I got something to ask you.
Go on.
Have you ever listened to your podcast?
Yeah.
I mean, not watched it, listened to it.
Yeah.
You sure? All right,
Yeah, why?
I was curious, man, because I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but the freaking audio that comes through the opening of the show is quite porny.
I know. It's a bit bouncy, isn't it? I mean, do you know what the problem with that is? I use a platform called Anchor to use my to put it through, and it's been changed to Spotify for podcasters.
Well, it sounds like you use a platform called Dildo. This is what I hear.
Welcome to the 1 Point Safety Show. Britain's most erotic, sensual, and throbbing Washington Commanders podcast. With your sexy hosts, Scott and Scout.
So hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the 1 Point Safety Show.
Listening to my horrible tones.
My glorious co-host Scout Andy.
All right, honestly, after all of that build-up, man, then you come on. You got to jazz it up a little bit, man. You got to come on.
Maybe I do.
Scott Hotley down here. All right, so we do have some Commanders news, I suppose. FedEx has decided not to sponsor the stadium anymore, and to that I say very good, because I haven't called the stadium FedEx Field in a long time. I call it delivered late and broken by surly employee field, because that seems to be the thing. And the other day when I put that on Twitter, one of their chatbots came after me to try to help fix my problem. And it's like, dude, here's your problem. My FedEx guy's an asshole. He just is, and that's all there is to it. And, their chatbot tried to help me, and, please send me every bit of information about you that you can, including your social security number, your kid's social security number, you guys on this screen, all of you, your social security number, and I will fix everything. Anyway, does anybody care that FedEx Field is pulled out from the naming rights of the stadium?
Nope.
No.
Keith, you going to know where to go without the name? It's a long drive.
Yeah, I just put Loser Drive and it takes me right to the stadium.
Commanders Field. What are we going to call it now? I mean,
I'd call it Landover Field. Fuck it. Why not?
Don't be surprised if it ends up being the FanDuel Stadium or the Bet365
Fanatics.
Something. Yeah,
Fanatics
like
is already
that.
there.
Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is.
Oh, God. You know what that means? If Fanatics is there, that means they're going to do our uniforms, which means we're going to see what every one of our players' dicks look like. Have you seen what they've done with baseball uniforms?
Yeah.
Like, oh, God.
Well, look, I think it could go back to Jack Kent Cook Stadium. That's what it was named before FedEx.
Call it Rail John. Fuck it. Rail John Field.
Nah, they're gonna have they're definitely gonna get a sponsor for it, and and chances are it's gonna be one of those bet sites. I mean,
you know what?
They've been going hard with that, betting at the stadium.
They would have to. They would have to put a contingent on the naming rights for the new field, because part of the reason why FedEx pulled out, which is understandable. I mean, the place is a shithole. I mean, sewage doesn't work. The showers don't work in the locker rooms, and whenever anybody talks about FedEx Field, they talk about how much of a shithole it is, even though I don't think it's that much.
Players talk about how bad the field is.
Well, not anymore. They do talk about the locker room. The field's been good for the past couple of years.
Yeah, the locker room
has been.
We really don't do anything on it.
When you say FedEx Field, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Shithole.
Those ugly fucking panels at the top of the stadium to make the thing look like a goddamn movie house popcorn bucket.
But nothing good comes to talking about FedEx Field. So I think it's I don't think it's that big of a deal. Really.
Well, it's two cases here. I mean, the first case is Fred Smoot no longer has any, or I said Smoot, my bad.
Smith.
Fred
They
Smith.
got you.
Yeah. Fred Smith. Sorry, Smoot.
Fred Smoot, what? I don't know the stadium no more.
No, Fred Smith no longer has minority ownership, so there's really nothing in it for him at this point. And really, all that stadium was doing was giving FedEx a bad name. So I mean, it made sense. It made sense for him to pull out. But he's still a jerk-off jackass anyways.
I think he's the primary reason we lost our name. I think he was the one that pushed it.
He's 100% the reason why we lost our name.
Yep.
Absolutely. He pandered. I'll go ahead and say it. He pandered to the George Floyd situation.
Yep, he did. Well, I mean, It was a season.
And he used it to chokehold because he was trying to get majority ownership of the team. So he figured he would go after it in that way. And if he couldn't get it, he'd at least force that piece of shit to change the name. And that's exactly what he did. They're all in bed together and they're all pieces of shit. Fuck you, Dan Snyder. Fuck you, Fred Smith.
And Fred
Correct.
Smoot, we're good with you. We're all right with Fred Smoot.
Yeah,
so the one thing that you can say about it is that at least they are trying to rectify things that have gone wrong by putting more money into the stadium. I mean, $75 million again back into the stadium after what we had last year.
A lot of it is going into luxury suites.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. The first year I went to the second year I went, you could actually notice the difference. It doesn't make a shit of difference who's on the field trying to scream through a microphone at you. You can't hear a thing. All you can hear is that is about
they're upgrading the speakers again for the second year in a row. They're doing that. That's one of the things they're doing.
A lot of those upgrades I've seen are to like luxury suites and more luxury.
I mean, not only
you go for your money, and this is a money demographic area.
Yeah.
And Scott, I think last year one of the things that really helped out the experience was sharing a raincoat with me.
Correct, and also listening to your online commentary, which was quite
I had
good.
more fun putting that raincoat over your. Dude, I put that raincoat over your goddamn head from behind you just to fuck with you. And you sat there with it for a minute like it was supposed to. And then you turned and looked at me. I'm sorry, mate. I just can't. Like, I didn't just go that long. All right. Let's see. Okay, so FedEx Field, no more. We're going to get a new sponsor, and I'm hoping it's something like Lululemon or something like that. Lululemon Field, TJ Maxx Field, something cheesy and corny like that, just for fun. Because I do like Landover Field, but we'd probably find out that Landover means like Landover trash dump or something that they paved over. So what else happened this week? We don't have any new coaches to talk about. They started evaluating players, I suppose. Who did we release today? Scotty, please. This is your favorite time of year. I will turn it over to you. Who did we release today and how did that all work out?
Today we released Charles Leno Jr., saving ourselves initially $7.8 million against the cap. We don't know if this is a post-June 1st designation, which would save us $11.2 million against the cap. We also released Nick Gates, saving us next to nothing. But it is a dead cap hit of $7 million next year.
He's fired.
We also got rid of Logan Thomas, saving ourselves $5.5 million against the cap. So looking at it in relative terms, if you take into account still the $17 million set aside for rookies, we have currently $97 million worth of cap to go through, which is a lot of money. And that is add 17 on top of that is your actual cap completely. I've just crunched the numbers, had a good look at what can happen there.
So I think
you minus the 17 from the 97.
That's right.
So it's like $80 million in
80
reality.
Total, yeah.
And then the Patriots had to one up us and got rid of J.C. Jackson. So they have over $1 million in cap space.
100
million.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
$100
million
in
cap
space.
Afford some Dixie cups for the water fountain. That's it.
As I was going on, we knew Leno's been banged up. He's been banged up for a while, but he's always pushed through it. Yeah, I mean, my stance would have changed if we knew he was going to have off-season surgery. From the sounds of what his wife was saying, that he could be out of football the whole next
altogether,
year.
Yeah. No, I think it might be altogether.
Maybe even done. So that does change things with the tackle thing, and that could change things for a lot. A lot of people are saying, "Well, is it smart to go ahead and put because listen, free agency." There's no left tackle that would be even an upgrade. There's not. There's not. Balaga, you want to pay that old ass man?
No, I don't want to
pay
$21 million.
No, I don't pay. I don't want to pay Tyron Smith either. What's the guy at the Patriots called? Left tackle.
Was it
I
Brown? Yeah, he's a right tackle for one. He's a right tackle.
No, and Wayne is the right tackle.
He's
the right tackle.
Yeah, he's the right tackle. And then you got Jonah Williams, which he wasn't good enough to play left tackle, so they put him over to right tackle, and he wasn't really good there either. So
no, he wasn't good at right tackle. He started at left tackle. He was drafted as a left tackle. He was drafted as a left tackle, was 11th overall pick in the draft. And they went and signed what they deemed was a better left tackle. Now, because they signed what they deemed as a better left tackle, he seeked a trade, didn't get the trade, and said, "Well, okay, I'll play on the right side for you then."
All right,
I think you put him back to left tackle?
Why would they draft a left tackle when they already had a left tackle? Yeah, see, that doesn't add up to me. And then they want to get rid of him.
No, I get that. If you think as an organization, I understand where you're coming from. If you think as an organization you can upgrade at that key position, then you do what you can. Right now, you're right.
Upgrading
right now, there isn't a left tackle in the market they thought at the time. And if you go, okay, I can get who did they get at left tackle? Jesse at the Bengals. Paid a lot of money for him as well.
It was whatever his name from the Cowboys.
No, it was a guy from Kansas City, I think. Orlando Brown Jr. Thank you, Pete. That's exactly who it was. Who was the top free agent on the market? Now you look at his previous season, and you say to yourself, actually, yeah, that is a massive upgrade. I'm going to pay the guy $80 million or whatever it was. So he's had to move to right tackle. He was a rookie the year before. Okay, I'm saying pay the man. He's a free agent. Give him the money. $12 million a year, no problem at all. 3-year deal, $36 million.
I'll tell you what. We'll get into that because we're going to do some Keith's playing with his new toy. I like your new computer. All right, so Keith, let me ask you a couple of questions here since you are new to this, and I know that this is not your favorite time of the season because you usually don't pay attention to these fat guys like they do. Of the players that we have, let's say I'm going to give you 3 names. Tell me who you're re-signing. Curtis Samuel.
Keep going. Give me the names, and then I'll tell you.
Antonio Gibson. Cam Curl.
I'm going to go ahead and I'd re-sign Cam Curl, and I'd also re-sign I'd re-sign Cam Curl. I'd re-sign Samuel as well. Antonio Gibson, not so much.
Kendall Fuller?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
So that puts cornerback in more play in free agency. But I agree. Curtis Samuel, I think, is as far as our own free agents.
That's the only one
at the top. Yeah, I thought he played very well last year. He was what we have been waiting for the last couple of years, and I'm happy with that. So, all right, let's move along a little bit here.
Look with the Fuller thing. It depends on how much, really. Like that's the key. He's getting a little bit older, but do we, if we can get him for a decent price and not have to, we know we're not going to be that good next year. If we can sign him for a 1-year deal and not have to fill another hole, if you get him for something, something really decent, maybe like what, 4 or 5 million or something like that, maybe. I think you do that. But I'm not bringing back Curl, not for the price tag that he's going to want.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
They've been talking, haven't they? So...
Yeah, but I haven't heard any numbers on it. You never hear any numbers at this stage. And the thing that for me is, even as an agent that has to go out and maximize the value of his client, you also have to go in there with a little bit of realism. I think that if he hits the market, the first thing that they're going to say to him is, dude, you are inconsistent as hell. And his price is going to plummet. So, I don't know how much of a priority it is for us to go ahead and re-sign him, because I think we could probably gamble that he would go out in the market, and then we
$9 million a year average.
So then you give him, give him 9.5, and you say, "Come on back home, we like it." Give him 10, something like that.
Thing with Kendall Fuller is he had statistically his best season.
Dude, the one thing about Kendall Fuller last year that I saw more than anything out of Kendall Fuller last
year. He
didn't
have a bad season last year.
Anytime they threw that ball out short where he was, that guy flat-footed, stopped, waited for the fucking hit, and got beat by whatever the ball carrier was at that point. He didn't attack the ball. he was statistically okay when he was out there one-on-one with the receiver, but when it came down to actually playing the other part of the position, he wasn't very good at it. And I'm just not going to agree to that. He didn't play the run very well. He didn't close very well. He didn't hold his gaps very well. Not gaps.
Can we just go back to? Can we just go back a touch, just back to Leno and talk a little bit about him?
I agree,
Keith,
Nathan.
Keith.
I mean, Nathan. I get it. I get it. But didn't you see that, Nathan? Even he was dropping himself and stopping. 4 yards
aren't really run stoppers, though.
No. It's not a matter of run stopper. If I throw a bubble screen out there and I know he's going to give that guy 4 yards before he even tries to tackle him, guess what I'm going to keep doing?
So back to Leno, just quickly. I know Keith will probably want to say a few bits on Charles as well. Off the field, top bloke. Can't say enough about him and his family. What he did with the community work, absolutely fantastic. On the field, hit and miss, but average tackle, left tackle in the league, but better than what people make out again. So thanks, Charles, for what you've done for the team and what you've done for the organisation, both on and off the field. Wish you nothing but the best of luck in the future, whatever you decide.
Absolutely. He was,
very good in the community.
Just like everybody always does whenever somebody gets released. Sorry, Jesse, but I'm going to stay with football for a second. But people go ahead and trash guys like that and think that they weren't any good. And, when you fall back on PFF and things like that, then, but the fact of the matter is your eye test told you too. He has not been bad. And the fact of the matter is when we picked him up for what we got him for, when we got him, he was a steal. All right. He held that position down. They're not great. He's not going to the Hall of Fame, right? He's not freaking Trent Williams. But when Trent Williams vacated, he left a gigantic fucking hole.
Yeah. And see, that's the key right there. People think we've had Trent Williams, we've had Samuels, so many good left tackles,
great left tackles,
great left tackles, and we get someone like Leno who wasn't up to the standards of them. But if you really look around, if you look around the league, that standard is so different nowadays. There's only one Trent Williams, man. There's maybe maybe three really great top of the line left tackles in this league. Leno was solid here. He didn't miss a game. He missed one game.
A few. I think he was sick one year. He had an illness, injury. I don't.
Yeah, and he had obviously other thing.
Yeah, his wife made him some bad tacos. Way to go.
No, but hats off to Leno, man. He was very good in the community. Did really good work with the hog farmers, really and man, I appreciate the banter that we've had with his wife online. She was always really good with the fans. As long as you're respectful for her, she usually comment back to you and have conversations with you. So yeah.
And again, I thought that he played well. When you got to recognize the Trent Williams departure, it was bad. All right, in terms of PR, it was bad in terms of how it made you feel as a fan because it dragged out, and you felt like more of that pit, that constant Dan Snyder pit. It was just there was no bottom to it, and there was another fucking layer to it. This Trent Williams thing, and when he left, you're like, oh fuck, we just lost an All-Pro Hall of Fame left tackle, and Leno stepped in and played admirably. I mean, he didn't play up to the level of Trent Williams, but you know what? He didn't play down to the level of fucking hit the road Nick Gates either. Or fucking Andrew Wiley. So yeah, good for him. What do you got to say, Keith, while you're doing your work over there?
Yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much summed it up with everything, so I don't really need to reiterate it. It's a huge loss to the hog farmers. They were super supportive, and I'm sure they'll continue to be supportive, in that aspect. But, we also understand, or I understand that this is a business, but you guys really touched base on all the high points. I pretty much stayed off Twitter today because I didn't want to see the negativity because that's, was going to piss me off. And, I've been pretty lucky as a fan, just a regular dude to do the things that I've done these past couple of years. And, that's all going to eventually fade away, and what won't fade away is the memories, and it's really the memories is off the football field because, I had an opportunity to get into the perspective, of the eyes of, someone who plays the game. And, was able to, with the other guys. You're an idiot.
Go ahead. It works.
I can't even concentrate.
Go ahead. You can too concentrate. You know what you want to say.
Basically, the bottom line is I, was able to see a different part of the game, through a different pair of glasses. So that was a pretty cool part of it. And really, like you guys said, I wish, them continued success in whatever it is that they do.
I'll tell you what. Let me throw this at you because you bring this up a lot. All right. Now, when I first joined the show, this was very important to you because of the link that you had to your father, right? And the fact of what you were doing with the not the hog farmers at that point, but as a whatever that fan ambassador thing was, it got you inside the door so you could meet some of these guys, not necessarily the players, but guys like Jason, and see them not as names on a page of newsprint. They are people, right? Doing a job. And all of that stuff kind of grew into who you are right now, which is, I just read this morning that you are New Jersey's most positive new TikTok father. And that
so stupid.
is important.
So stupid. I hate you.
Come on. No, but you get what I'm saying, man. Those things were important to you, man. And so, yeah, you made relationships behind the scene. And I think that the Lenos and what they've done with the hog farmers and what they did with Leno Claus and all that sort of thing like that, they were a part of the city. And I think that they made that effort as soon as they got here to become a part of the city.
Yep,
and they did. They succeeded. So, yeah, man, hats off to him.
Yeah,
congratulations.
I actually won one of the Leno Claus, like the 12 days of Christmas. 24 days of Christmas. What the thing that they do during Christmas? Yeah, I got a Leno Claus T-shirt. It was cool.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got one.
Cool.
The thing now is on the first day of Christmas, it's 96 degrees because it's the second day of July. And Christmas starts in July now. All right, so Scott,
behind your background, yeah, go ahead, John.
All right, so we're gonna play a game because I got a lot of names here. We're gonna play a game. We're gonna play pay or stay away. And I didn't have time to make any kind of nifty entry for this or anything like that or opening for this. So if you guys could just all say at the same time, 1, 2, 3, ping. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Ping,
pay or
ping.
Stay away. There you go. Now there you go. Now that is Bleeding Burgundy podcast. Fucking
what?
You're right.
Dogs. So I heard there.
Anyway. Values, baby. Hey, you know what? I trip up over myself just because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But Scotty found himself in a gay bar.
No, I didn't. No,
no.
There is. Yeah. No.
I'll tell you what.
Don't go back and watch that show, Keith. It was wild.
I'm not having a poo.
That was the highlight of the night.
I'm not having a poo.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. We're going to talk about some free agents, good or bad, and we're going to play pay or stay away. So we're going to start right over here at the top left with Jesse. And we'll start with Brandon Graham, defensive end, edge from Philadelphia. He's 36 years old, 14th year. Man, what do you think?
Stay away from Brandon Graham. Too old. I think he's going to command probably like $7-8 million. It might be a little bit enticing for such a low price, but he just really hasn't had it. The past couple of years. So
2 years.
Definitely stay away from Brandon Graham. Even though we desperately need defensive end help, this is a guy you need to stay away from.
I agree. All right. Since I got a lot of names here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move around the room per name. And if anybody wants to jump in on one, they can,
Okay. Well, can I jump in on Brandon Graham? Because I highly disagree with all three of you.
Go ahead.
I highly disagree. I do agree that he's up there in age and we could be getting him at the tail end of his career.
He's 79.
And we have a tendency to do bad things with that. So I can understand the hesitation. I absolutely love Brandon Graham and I would pay him.
I'm sure he's a great person, but he
is good, man.
He was good.
He still is. He still is good. But I'm not going to argue your guys' point of view because again, he's probably at the tail end of his career. And he is going to continue to decline, and he's probably going to want a lot of money, so I can understand the hesitation. But man, make no mistake, that guy is better than anything that we've had in 10 years.
I think he's going to want at least like 10, $11 million a year, and I just wouldn't pay that. I don't think
Ryan
I'd pay
Kerrigan would have words.
Disagree with that. Ryan Kerrigan, indeed. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Almost Sacks, cool. Yeah.
What?
Cool.
Hey,
almost like he's got the most sacks in the entire franchise. What are you talking about?
Have you seen our franchise? That's not a very high level, though.
Dude, we were the number one. Fucking Dexter Manley, Charles Man. Be gone.
I'm not saying Ryan Kerrigan sucks. I'm just saying.
You're right.
Wow.
I brought up names from the past. Jumpy Geathers.
Oh. Absolutely pay that guy.
All right, so moving on down, Josh Allen, Jaguars. He's expecting $24 million a year.
Ooh.
You know, I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Scott. It's your turn.
I would pay him, but we're going to have to stay away because he's getting franchise tagged. There's no way he hits the open market. No way, indeed.
I think if they were going to franchise tag him, they probably would have already franchise tagged him.
They've got until Tuesday.
No.
Look, man, I'll tell you what. He had a great year last year. No,
I say pay. You know, if he's available,
$24 million.
Yes.
Dude, if you look at his numbers beyond last year, because last year he exploded. He had 17.5 sacks.
I think they got a different defensive coordinator last year, and really took his game up to. And he's always been good. He's always been really good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know he's good.
We've been saying, you know, you pay two guys, all right, two big high level guys. This is one of those positions where you pay.
Yep.
All right. So those two agree. Keith, you agree?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm outnumbered. Fuck all of y'all. All right.
But there is another guy. I'm sure you'll get to him.
Yeah.
All right. Jonathan Greenard, Texans. He's
unbelievable.
Dude, he's expecting $13.5 million. He was another one. He's got little to no injury history, which is nice. He plays a lot. Last year, his numbers shot up, 12.5 sacks last year. I got to tell you, it's Keith's turn.
I don't really know enough. So
here's what I know about him. D'Amico Ryans fucking got that kind of production out of him. And there's your San Francisco connection, right? And that's how kind of things, how they work when you connect things like that. So depending on what he wants, I mean, these projections I'm getting from Spot Track, and Jesse's just rolled his eyes right back in his skull. He wants $13.5 million per year, and I mean that might be a reasonable expectation.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable.
But what are you going to get out of him? Which Jonathan Greenard's going to show up? Is it going to be the guy that
he's going to be very good and better than what we've got. Look at what you have on the roster right now. Nothing.
KJ Henry.
Now you can. Oh, come on,
dude! He's been projected. Don't tell me nothing. People have spoken his name.
KJ Henry and what's the other one? The guy looks like he's ate 100 Twinkies. James Smith Williamson. I mean, come on.
James Smith Williamson. Come on, man.
Seriously, that guy is fatter than our fucking defensive tackles.
He's a space eater. He can eat up 3 blockers just to take care of his gut.
No. Imagine Grenard and someone like Josh Allen or I don't know who else, someone else on that edge would be.
All right, well, here, let me keep going. All right, we've got Bryce Huff. All right, Bryce Huff's kind of a linebacker.
Yes, that he's actually the guy that I think they're going to really go after target, because I think you can get him for a good price. And he is young, and he is really starting to come on. So Bryce is my number one defensive end, like realistic defensive end.
25 years old, yeah. And 10 sacks last year. He's only projected to be going around for $9 to $10 million.
Yep,
and that's a bargain.
Damn.
Yeah, coming from a Robert Saleh again. There's that San Francisco wire.
Plus, what you also have to remember there is there's less tread on the tires with him because he was a situational pass rusher. And he only played quite few snaps at end. He obviously played a lot at linebacker as well. But yeah, that is a guy. I said this to you 3 weeks ago. That's the guy I wanted to sign.
All right, so Keith, I know that you're this isn't really your area of interest.
Expertise.
Interest. But no, so I want to keep you involved in things like this. So I'm going to bring up the Commanders and who we've got that we might have to re-sign. And one of them is James Smith Williams, who I don't want to say he put on a lot of weight at the end of last year, but Jesus Christ, the man didn't stay away from a buffet at all. And what's the other guy's name? The white guy who everybody expected was going to do something.
Casey Toohill.
Oh, Casey, where the hell did he go? Do you think either one of those?
Casey had 2 sacks in one game, and the floor fell out in the Commanders fan base saying that he was going to.
That's right. Everybody went, get rid of Chase Young. We got
Hill's got it. 2L's our savior.
So seriously though, Keith, because we do have a lot of guys that are not going to be under contract, and those are two of them right there. We've got KJ Henry. He was a rookie, and who was the other rookie? Brown.
No, Jones. Brown? Andre Jones,
right? So one of those. Would you think about re-signing either one of those? Or are you spending heavy in free agency?
I mean, if we're signing, obviously we're signing to depth. So neither of those guys are starters to me.
No.
So if you're not going to utilize them as a starter, see ya. And then just, hit free agency. If you can get them cheap and they're going to be a depth role player, then sure, why not?
With the defensive end side of it, man, because we need 2 starters, all right? And you're going to need one. You're going to need to find one that's going to be around, $3-4 million a year. So maybe James Smith-Williams is that, because he is good against the run. If you're going to spend money on a Josh Allen's for say, you're not going to go turn around and spend $10-11 million on a Bryce Huff. It's a tough spot for them to be in, but they made it themselves. They made this an issue by getting rid of Sweat.
Who's the guy we got a guy that got suspended for gambling. I can't remember his name. He played for Penn State, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Coming back.
Shit.
What the hell is it? I know. I can't remember his
I think
name.
they cut him anyways.
Did they cut him? All right.
Yeah. Fuck. Scott G. What's his name? Fucking shit. I know he knows it, but anyways, he weighed about as much as a linebacker, anyways.
Yeah,
so you can juggle, you can get to these mid-grade defensive ends, $7 to $10 million, or you can go big and go little.
Well, we got
by re-signing a Hill or re-signing a James Smith-Williams.
We haven't even mentioned Daniil Hunter yet, and I mean the dude's 29. He'll be 30 in mid-season, and dude, I know he wants $20 million.
Good. But I think he wants to go to a winner.
He's borderline great. That guy puts numbers up that are unfucking real every year.
It was Shaka Tony, and he was
Shaka Tony. Yeah. Way to go, Deluxe. Daniil Hunter, I don't think he's going to want no part of this team. He doesn't want no part of a rebuild. Okay,
Dude, I don't know. He's Jamaican. You can't recalibrate into a reggae rhythm.
What is he, 32 years old, something like that?
He'll be 30. He's 29 now. He'll be 30 mid-season.
There's no chance. There's no chance.
He wants a lot of money. But, dude, 16 and a half sacks again last year.
He's good, but he's old, and he's not going to want to come here.
I don't know that 29, 30 years is that old, but he's an excellent player, and it's a consistently excellent player. I would definitely kick the tires to see if we could maybe get him to come down on that. I don't know whether we would want. Where do you get this that he wouldn't want to play here? Is it the coaching?
Because of his
he wants
age.
to go to a contender.
He wants to go to a contender to win a Super Bowl.
That's exactly it.
You think? All right.
That is exactly it, yeah.
Keith,
I mean, for the cost as well, that's a lot, 18 million. Really?
18 to 20, yeah.
Oh, 20, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Not for someone that age, I'd stay away.
Keith, he's got a girl's name. Does that take anything off for you?
No, it's fine.
All right. Brian Burns, Panthers, 25 years old. He wants close to $22 million they're projecting. 12 and a half sacks last year on a freaking horrible team. You like him?
This one's tough because he's so talented. He just hasn't really put up the huge sack numbers. But I'd probably go ahead and do it then. Fuck it.
Franchise tagged, won't get a chance to do it.
All right, Keith, this one's specifically for you. Kirk Cousins.
Look at him thinking about it.
Kirk Cousins, sir. We're asking you for Kirk Cousins. He's going to want a lot of money.
No.
Wow.
No to Kirk Cousins.
You have disappointed me.
No, if we didn't have the number 2 pick in the draft, I might think differently. I'd put my logical glasses on and I'd say You know, the guy was a decent quarterback for us. He's heading into the prime. It sucks that he's coming off a major injury, but it's not the end of the world. But in the position that we're in now, no, thank you. I'll pass.
All right. Fair enough on Kirk Cousins. All right. Let's see here. We got a couple of these. Where am I? We got one more. Dude, Leonard Williams. Tell me about
that's Leonard Williams could be one of those guys.
Not produce. He produces every time.
He's one of those players where you might be able to get him for $7-8 million.
He might be interested in coming in to be a mentor. He might,
and I'd do that,
something like that.
I would do that. I would do that.
He is a monster every time, dude. Remember,
you're going to get 10 sacks from.
You're going to get at least 10 Giants, and then we went to play him in Seattle, and he fucked us up then too.
I think you're going to get 8 to 11 sacks from Williams, and you get a good price on that. Match him up with Bryce Huff. I think that would be a good tandem right there.
All right. So then, keeping that in mind, Scott, do you agree with that? Because you are the off-season guru of this television show.
No, I don't agree with that. I wouldn't pay Leonard Williams. I think he's going to want far too much money.
Well, they've got him projected at 16.7 on Spot Track.
That's Spot Track is not always right.
I know.
We gotta really,
all these people are just guessing. This is a projection.
No,
right?
not for me.
All right. So how would you approach? Because I know you've got a way to fix the offensive line for $50 million, and I'm going to ask you to hold it because we've got 20 minutes left in the show, and we're probably going to get to offense on the next episode. So everybody stay tuned about that. But Scott's disappointed. Oh, he was so ready for that today. We've just been all right. Well, we're still on the defense. I don't know if we can get through to it or not. But all right, Shaq Barrett. We're talking linebackers now. Shaq Barrett just was released from the bucket.
Bit old, isn't he?
32 years old.
No.
We need some youth.
You need to get younger at that position.
I agree. Speaking of younger, Patrick Queen, Baltimore Ravens, 25 years old. He wants 18.5 is what he's projected.
I'll give him 19 and give him a kiss on the ass too.
Yeah.
He's been a monster.
Great player.
You know Patrick Queen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not enough to throw an opinion, though.
All right, well, $18.5 million. Why not? Frankie Louvu. Now, this is a name that I was kind of surprised to see. $11.2 million he's expecting. He's 28 years old. Got good tackling numbers. And this is the kind of things that I'm looking for. A lot of these linebackers that I'm seeing, especially on you guys' list, are off-the-ball linebackers, not necessarily pass rushers, which would free up Jamin Davis to be as speedy and freaking strong as he can be. Keith, I know I hate watching you just sit over there saying, I don't know why the fuck I came on this show. I don't know what the fuck I'm nothing.
Okay, man.
All right, so Ken Norton Jr., our linebackers coach, you know him.
Yeah.
You think Jamin Davis is going to freaking how do you think that's going to work out for him?
Oh, we're looking breaking news on Jamin Davis is he is no jail time.
So his asshole will stay the same size.
So I'm going to stick to what I said in previous episodes about how much I hated Ron Rivera and that coaching staff, and really think that coaching staff did not coach those players to their best of their abilities. So I'd be willing to hang on to Jamin Davis and see if we can get something, something more out of him. I think he has the right coaching now. I expect bigger things from him.
Even with the bad coaching, he progressed each and every year.
He did. And yeah, he was also, as we found out, trying to process way too much at the line of scrimmage, at the line of snap. And frankly, on defense, more than anything, you got to think less and frickin' hit it, man. It's a matter of knowing what to do so well that you just do.
Listen, what he went through, I'm not making excuses for it, but that can weigh on the human mind.
Oh, yeah.
And affect him. So now that, that situation is, done, because he made a mistake, but now it's washed. And so now he can, fully focus, and he's doing it with a group of adults that can help him improve.
Yeah.
So when's the deadline? Does anyone know when the deadline for the 5th year options are?
He's coming up, isn't he?
He's due it. I think it's May. I think is the deadline for the 5th year options. So I think it's just over 17 million. if I remember rightly. That's a lot to pick up next season. Or do you look to try and sign him to a full extension if he balls out this season? What do you think?
Yeah, I think they probably will pass on the 5th-year option just because of the
market,
the production that he has. But there's a very good chance that he balls out this year and they pay him next year.
I'd like to see what the draft, brings if they actually go after a linebacker. That would tell me a lot. All right, Jordan Brooks, Seattle Seahawks, 27 years old. He's looking at $11.3 million. Dude had 184 fucking tackles with 109 solo tackles in 2021. That guy was just running up in the stands and tackling people. He was tackling people like you would. 184 effing tackles.
Yeah.
He had 161 in 2022 and 111 last year, which 111 is not a bad number, but that's 50 off. He dropped off 50. So is it just a matter of he started fast and he's going to steady off at around 110, 111? What do you think of this dude?
Jordan Brooks is a solid player. Depending on what spot track is, what are they saying?
They're saying 11.2.
Yeah.
Which sounds reasonable. Dude, if you can get that kind of production out of him, I'm looking for a 100 tackle linebacker. I'm looking for a 120 to 130 tackle linebacker, a guy that can play behind the line and make those plays on fucking running backs before they get away, like we always seem to have that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some quality linebackers, depending upon how much money they spend on the defensive line, what they're going to do at safety with Cam Curl. You can get some good quality linebackers for a little bit less price. But if you miss out, take a swing on Patrick Queen. I think this, Jordan Brooks is the next probably heaviest hitter on the market that you might want to go for, or you can go a little bit cheaper with some other guys you're about to mention.
All right, well, there's Bobby Wagner.
A little bit too old for me.
Go ahead, Scott. I see that.
I like him. Think he's a great player, but you're right, Jesse. Bit too old. Probably wants to go back to a contender to win a Super Bowl. Did he win a Super Bowl with the Rams, or was that after? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was with the Rams.
Yes, he did. He was on the Rams. Yes, he did, because he was one of the free agents he was one of the mercs that they brought in to help them win that one.
Yeah,
the connection might be good and solid there. A guy like I could see like Ken Norton Jr. looking at him and seeing a very good mentor for somebody like Jamin Davis. It would depend on the price of how much he's going to be coming in, because he's been to the pinnacle. He might be looking to just I don't know what
I'm not paying him no more than $7-8 million though.
Right. Josie Jewell, who should have him. Yes, he's 30 years old, white, slow, and his tackling numbers are
one of the guys I was talking about. The defense that Denver ran, kind of like a bubbleized. Linebackers were involved a lot in the passing game as well too, and he's very, very good in the passing game. How many times have we were bitching because our linebackers were 5 yards behind the running back or the tight end? Well, this guy right here, very good in the pass game, good against tight ends, and he will be cheap.
But would he be able to do that if he's trying to digest 4 playbooks at a time every time somebody says hut?
That's true.
That's, I think, more of a problem.
You go out and spend $20+ million on a defensive end. This guy is going to be lining up next to Jamin Davis, and I'd be perfectly okay with it.
What about you, Scott? You know anything about him?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
not much. Be honest with you, don't know much.
All right, they're looking at $7 million. $7.6 million.
Yeah, 6, 7, somewhere on there. I'm good with that.
Well, we just do. Look,
but would you let Cody Barton walk for somebody like
him?
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
All right.
And I mean, who do we have before? Cole Holcomb and Cody Barton. That's kind of where we've been. John Bostic.
So here's what I'm seeing.
Fucking Jesus.
Cody Holcomb. All right. I'm going to get on
Cody Holcomb, same player. Come on.
I'm getting controversial on the show. Cole Holcomb, Cody Barton, freaking, hey, goddamn boys, let's put on some goddamn cowboy boots and rumble around there, boys. They're slow. They can't run. We saw what happened, and we're going to go ahead and do it again with another one.
Well, Josie Jules isn't slow. He can run. It's been proven and he can cover tight ends. So I'm definitely
And when
okay.
when we get
Stop
get
being
Jeremiah
racist
Trotter-
against white linebackers, John.
I'm just pointing out the obvious.
Damn you.
when we get Jeremiah Trotter in the draft, it'll be all good. It'll be fun. That'll be 3 very good linebackers.
Drew Tranquil, Kansas City Chiefs. Now that guy, he's a playmaker. I'll give you that.
I like him too. He will be he won't cost all that much either. Probably around 8-9 million. Is that what Spot Track is?
I don't know. I didn't get far enough for him. So let me see. I started doing this at 4:00 this afternoon.
But he's been on a proven winner. He's a good playmaker. I would welcome him with open arms. Absolutely.
How is this possible? Where did he play prior to 2023? Hang on a minute.
He's relatively young.
He's 28. Yeah,
I didn't know he was that old.
All right, so he's only
he played for the Jags at some time or Chargers. It's Chargers.
No, he's only played for the Chiefs. He's only got stats for no, there he goes. Okay, yeah, he played for the Chargers. I don't know what the hell Spot Track's doing. I guess for Spot Track's points, they didn't pay him in Kansas in LA. All right, so anyway. Yeah, he's been okay, I suppose. Nothing spectacular. What I always see is something like, okay, in 2022 for the Chargers, 146 tackles. But that's like fucking double every other year. So what happened there? That's why I look at a guy like what you were talking about with Josh Allen. All of a sudden, bam, boom. I get, okay, did he get a new coach that really, literally, for Allen, tripled his numbers practically?
Well, when you're on a good defense like the Chiefs were, that love gets spread around too.
All right,
it's not all.
When you spread your love around, how often do you ask for the money back?
So stupid.
I don't even know how to answer that.
You don't know how to answer it.
See what you've been missing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know what to.
I'm not gonna lie, I do.
I don't know what to ask you about. I already asked you.
No, it's fine. Like I know I'm sitting here, I'm a mute because I've paid probably 5% attention to this stuff, and I'm gonna get there, guys. I'm gonna get there, but man, I'm just I'm burnt, and I'm doing these other things. So I'm actually learning from you guys today. That's why I'm silent.
That's fine. That's fine.
Carry on, boys.
I tell you what, for all you ladies out there, thank you for tuning in just to look at Keith.
He's so stupid.
I am not. I know how our.
I have noticed though that our views do go up when Keith shows up. So obviously, it's not my British charm and humour that's doing the rounds here. And Jesse's good looks. I mean, they're just normal.
British charm and
humor.
You guys got so used to me not coming on, I wasn't even tagged in the tweet today.
Britain's most erotic, sensual, and throbbing Washington Commanders.
It's the throbbing bit.
Your sexy hosts, Scott and Scout.
She's having fun.
So hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of
Oh dear.
I'm sorry, I love that. Let me let's see the text. Hey John, let's have some fun with Scott today. Which is why when I said, damn, Jesse's in a cantankerous mood. So when I got in the studio at 5:26 and nobody was here today, and I'm like, fuck, Jesse told Scott, we'll just hang out till 5:32 just to get John's hair falling out. He calls me the time Nazi every fucking time I start the show. All right, let's see here.
We only got 7 minutes.
Yeah, I know. All right, so let's go to some defensive backs real quick because we're going to go to offense next time. So defensive backs.
Yeah, that's cool.
Jordan Whitehead, safety from the Jets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good player.
Yeah. If we get rid of, or if we don't re-sign Curl, Whitehead is definitely on the list, short list.
Antoine Winfield Jr.
He's good.
Great player.
Gonna be expensive.
He's a great player.
Good.
Very expensive.
He's going to want close to $19 million. Yeah. I'm thinking. So L'Jarius Sneed, cornerback. Another Jet.
Money. Listen, we got money to spend. It's just where are we going to spend this money?
All right. Well, we're going to have to buy a cornerback from what we're hearing, especially if we're going to let Fuller.
And there's a floor. I know everybody's saying because Peters were like, we're not going to go crazy in free agency, but listen, there's a floor, there's a cap. They can't hold on but to so much money each and every year.
I get that. So Winfield Jr. wants 18. It's the according to Spot Track is 18.5. Yeah. 18.
Oh, it went up. It went up 0.1 since.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Kyle Duggar.
That's a lot
from the Patriots.
Him, I'd definitely be interested in.
You know, the thing is, he's going to want, according to Spot Rag, he's going to want 16.5. And if I'm spending that, I'm spending on Winfield because I mean, Duggar's numbers in a Bill Belichick offense are so. Now, I am only looking at numbers, which I should right off say I shouldn't just make judgments based on that. But I haven't seen enough Patriots games to know just how much. But his numbers are they're And if I'm spending $16.5 million on I'll just drop the other $2 million and go get Antoine.
Duggar's a big part of that defense.
But they're looking at that. Cameron Curl, they're saying, is 14.4. So why wouldn't you just re-sign Cam Curl?
Because
Duggar's a hell of a lot better player, but more of a playmaker than Cam Curl. See, the whole thing about Cam Curl is he's solid in the box. Okay, he is not a playmaker though. He is not.
I don't know that first year when he was in there with Reeves, they were making plays back there.
Yeah, they were. You know why they were making plays? Because both Chase Young and Montez Sweat were meeting at a quarterback every other.
They were popping balls up in the air and picking balls off on ricochets, which you know
that was the best our defense had been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It all marries together like that, though. You really got to think about that stuff. So, but Cam Curl on his own does not make splash plays. He doesn't.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Because I saw the disappointment in his eye. We're going to go ahead and we're going to give you the opportunity, Scotty, to take the floor.
Right.
Hang on a second here. And Scott Hartley of Barrow and Furnace, United Kingdom, is going to fix our offensive line for $50 million. Go for it.
Okay, so I don't think it is if there are about 50 million. It's probably a little bit more than that. But initially said get rid of Leno on a first June cut, saves you 11.7 million.
Done.
Logan Thomas was another one for 5 million saved, so that would give you a total cap space of 112.8 million. You need to set aside 18 million for rookies, which gives you 95 million to spend. Free agency signing of Jonah Williams from Cincinnati as your left tackle. 3 years, 30 million, 10 mil guaranteed with an average of 10 mil per year. Sign Mike Nwayu from the Pats, who's a right tackle, 3 years, 42 mil, 22 guaranteed with a yearly average of 13 mil. He was the third best right tackle in the league, according to PFF. Then you sign Lloyd Cushenberry from Denver, who was also the third best center in the league on a 4-year, $53 million deal, 36 guaranteed with an average wage of $13 million a year. You'd still have $58 million after the rookies to play with, and then you draft for depth. So that's where you go with it.
There you go. And that's $50 million. Scott has fixed the offensive line. Yep. I don't know why you are not the Commanders' general manager, to be quite honest.
Just Rob Rogers is getting paid a couple of $1 million for this. Give it to me. I'll make sure by the end of March we have $11 in the bank. It's fine.
See, the problem I have with Jonah Williams is this.
I get it. I completely understand where you're going to
go. He's drafted in the first round. A year or two later, they say you're not good enough on a bad Cincinnati Bengals offense. Listen, they've been trying to fix that offensive line for quite a while. He was
their first pick for this build.
Yeah. So you say in a year or two, okay, he's not good enough to play left tackle. We got to go spend, even though we're already paying him a first-round rookie deal, we got to go spend big money to bring another
Collins.
Orlando Brown. We're gonna put him on the right side, see how he does. Oh wait, his contract's up. Doesn't get the 5th-year option. Don't think we're gonna re-sign him. See, that to me is like those are red flags all over the place for me. I think we're better off.
What you have to ask yourself is he better than Charles Leno? Could he do a more solid job than Charles Leno?
I don't think so.
It doesn't matter now.
It doesn't matter now, but
can he do a better job than the traffic cone? Because that's all we got right now.
At $14 million paying Charles Leno when you can pay Jonah Williams 10.
I told Tony Weed I was going to have a hot take on this podcast. So here it is.
Let's do it then.
The Washington Commanders are going to be trading back in the first round.
Yep, 100%.
Trade back.
Okay. The news of letting go Leno, letting go Gates, which Gates really, I mean, that's just pissing pennies right there. Has opened up multiple issues because we're not going to put Wiley back at right tackle. You can't do that. Can't. Now moving Wiley over to left guard and Scott's fixing the offensive line. I don't think you really took into account to that. That might save you some money, even though what the fuck? Even though it's been proven that Wiley's played better at guard in his career than he ever has at
I agree with that. That's where I put
right tackle. So you can save a little bit, but you still got two holes you got to fill. Where are we going to fill them at? There's not really a whole bunch of stuff on now on way on Niue, whatever his name. I like that pick right there. I like him at right tackle. Yeah. I'd spend money on him at right tackle 110%.
From the Jets. He was rated the third best right tackle in the league.
We're going to.
So what about? All right. So since
trade back, we're going to stay in the top. Let's see, 6 to 12 range right here. We're going to grab another second round pick this year and some more stuff. For that pick. Obviously, we're going to get a lot and probably a first rounder next year, and then we're going to trade back up into the first round and find our left tackle. And we're going to draft J.J. McCarthy as our quarterback for the Washington Commanders.
Go on, no. See, would you not go the other way? Would
hot take, baby.
Get out of here.
Would you not go the sensible route and stick at 2 and go, right, I'm going to stick at 2. I'm going to get a quarterback off the board and trade back into the first round, a la when we picked up Montez Sweat.
People are so easy to dismiss the JJ McCarthy stuff. That shit is real. That kid is going to be a first rounder. The kid is good. The only reason Scouse that he threw only 25 times a game is because that's all they needed to throw is 25 times a game. Any team in the goddamn world, if they had a running game like the Michigan had, they would run the ball too. They would. If you don't need to throw it, why throw it?
See, here's the thing about McCarthy for me. He all of a sudden, now that we're probably going to lose.
Not all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, now that we're probably
fan base, it's all of a sudden.
No. You're not even following what I'm talking about. Because Zach Wilson might be out of the league. That guy might be working in his father's insurance agency pretty soon, which makes JJ McCarthy the most punchable face in the NFL. That dude's face just looks like something you want to slap and run over with a car. Do we really want that? Do we need that? Is this how
his face is better than Drake May's fucking goofy ass backwater face? Have you seen Drake May?
I never expected his voice to be so deep. I was like, "Oh, who's this guy? No facial hair, nothing going on." And it was like, "Hey," I was like, "Oh shit!"
All right, so we might as well hit some offensive guys here. So we're overtime. Scott, you're up. It's Friday night. Fuck it. John Runyon, guard. Yeah. I gotta say, there's been a history of good John Runyons that play offensive line.
I think our guard room's set, man. We're still questioning
off the left guard,
especially if you got to pay Wiley and you're going to probably move.
Yeah, I think there might be a question at center depending upon what they think of Stromberg.
True.
We don't know what they think of Stromberg.
But what about Larson? I mean, I know he hasn't.
Got to have a backup, man. Got to have a backup.
I like Larson. Larson came in and played well last year, and he stayed healthy. Yeah, he's had injury history in the past until last year when he came in, and he played admirably in a bad situation.
Can you really say he played admirably? I think he played like shit.
Well, okay, I guess you might be right, because what we were seeing prior to that was shit on top of a pile of vomit with a big fucking head of long hair. All right, so you're right. Jonah Williams, we already talked about that. How about tight end Noah Fant? We're gonna need.
We're definitely in a tight end market. and Noah Fant is definitely high up on that list. There's a couple other tight ends that are going to be available in free agency.
All right.
Well, yeah, one of them is Dalton Schultz. Get him.
Yes, he's my number one. Schultz is my number one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Target.
Get him into my team.
Austin,
I think he's going to
be out there. Dalton Schultz, you said. Jonnu Smith is out there. Hunter Henry will be out there.
The thing with Dalton Schultz is everyone looked at him at Dallas and said, oh, yeah, he's great. He's okay. And then it was like, he was always the mid-range tight end. He went to Texas. He had a really, really good season. A really good season. And he slept on. He's so slept on. And he's not going to cost you the earth. About $6 million, something.
There's
like
a lot
that
of tight ends on the free agent market this year.
There's a lot of names. I mean, just to go off the top right from here, Hunter Henry, like I said, Jonathan Gesicki's out there, Fant's out there, Hooper's out there, Robert Tonyan is out there, Mercedes Lewis at the age of 64
he's still out. He's out there with a walker and everything, still catching fucking touchdowns.
That's right. Jimmy Graham coming in second at 59. He's out there. I mean, so, there are definitely people, and I like this guy's name just because it sounds like somebody from the 30s, but Johnny Munt is also out there. So there's guys that we can pick up. That I'm not thinking we're going to miss Thomas. And even though Thomas missed a lot of time due to injury, man, that dude fucking went over the middle and took some freaking shotgun.
Yes, Scouse is right. He says he was 10 million last year. Would probably want similar or more. They're saying 11 mil on.
I'd be willing to pay it. We need a good tight end. We need a good tight end.
Absolutely.
Let's look at wide receiver.
Vincent, the tight end from Kansas, is could be a target. Yeah, I like him as well too. But if we do got young guys behind besides Bates. He's not a pass catching tight end. Amari Rogers is still, coming off that horrible injury last year. He's a playmaker, but I think you need to bring a veteran in here. And I'd be willing to pay Schultz.
I tell you one I do like, and it's a cheap deal. It'll probably be about 6 or 7 million. Is Colby Parkinson from the Seahawks.
Sure. He never really got to what we thought he was going to be coming out of Stanford, because he was so good, but he never got there. So I mean, he'd be cheap, I would think.
Yeah, about 6 mil. So he is well worth it on there. I mean, he was a tight end free agency pickup for me in fantasy and scored me quite a lot of points last year. So
it's always a good reason to go ahead and spend $6 million. All right, so let's go some wide receivers.
Definitely.
Mike Evans.
I'm drafting him in the 17th round.
Mike Evans. I agree with Jesse. No,
I ain't paying him $27 million a year.
No,
ridiculous amount of money.
We're not a player away. And if we were a player away and it was a guy like Mike Evans, then I'd pay him because he is that good. And I think he's had
Mike Evans will go to Kansas City or Buffalo, somewhere like that. That's where he'll be.
He'll go to a Super Bowl contender. But
I like our wide receiver core, to be honest with you. Especially if we bring Samuels back. I really wanted to bring Samuels back.
You don't want a bigger body guy, somebody that's
we can draft one. We can draft one.
Correct.
So Gabe Davis.
Yeah, if we got somebody, if we have to get someone in free agency, Gabe Davis would be one that I would target.
Odell Beckham Jr.
No chance. Either.
Tyler Boyd
to do them.
Probably too much. Going to want too much, probably.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling. All right, I would tell you this.
Chance.
Here's an interesting fact about Marquez Valdez-Scantling. If you type Marquez Valdez-Scantling out on a Microsoft Word document, his name is wider than he is. All right, Paris Campbell. Couple of Colts I thought were interesting. Paris Campbell and Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman, I like.
They're not going to let that guy go.
I wouldn't think they would, because
Pittman's more like a McLaurin type. Anyways, we got kind of one of them, and
he's a taller one.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
You get two McLaurin types, and watch what I can do. Especially if one of them is 6'3" or whatever he is. He's tall.
Calvin Ridley.
He didn't really show up, I think, for Trevor Lawrence last year the way I expected.
He had some good games, though.
He had some okay games. Yeah, he showed up. But, I mean, he was a number one overall, or not a number one overall, but he was a number one pick for the Falcons, right? He was in the first round.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, and then he got busted for gambling. And so there he is. He's right there with the big Breck girl that they have down in Jacksonville. They've got the
what's
model,
his price tag, though? What's his price tag?
I'm not paying 13 million for Gabe Davis. That's for sure.
No
chance.
No, yeah, he's the kind of guy
That's a lot of money.
I hate to say this because I'm going to sound like Buddy Ryan, but all he does is score touchdowns, which is really Gabe Davis comes up with big plays in big situations, but we need a guy that's going to be doing a little bit more than that.
If we don't sign Curtis Samuels, I'd definitely go out after Gabe Davis.
Ridley is wanting 17 million by the looks of it.
Yeah. Nope.
He hasn't done enough to show me that. I'll tell you what, if you're telling me Pittman's not going to hit free agency.
No, he's not.
Paris Campbell is also quite interesting if we're going to be looking at a wide receiver. Marquise Goodwin, I'd run a good one. But Paris Campbell would interest me.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd would interest me.
Is that what about Hollywood Brown?
Nah.
You know, Hollywood Brown, he's been up and down. It depends on the team. And I think we're not.
He doesn't have good hands.
No.
We're not the fucking fly high spark off fireball team that he needs, I think, to be able to succeed. He's good when the shit's getting good. When it's going good, he's good. But when it ain't going good, he's not going to elevate. So that's what I think about that. And I think, all right, Ryan Tannehill. We're going to be looking at a veteran quarterback, right?
Wow.
If
God, I don't like Ryan Tannehill. I just think he's not the locker room guy you want.
If some of these like conspiracy theorists on Twitter are correct, and we're getting rid of we're gutting the roster, and we're going to go
already gutted.
We're going to trade back out of number 2. We're not going to get a quarterback this year. If that is true, the only quarterback I would want is probably a veteran quarterback is Jacoby Brissett.
Tyrod Taylor,
I might think about.
Gardner Minshew.
Brissett. I mean, I like Brissett better than both of them.
Brissett, I tell you, I think you're gonna have to tickle his nuts.
It's a lot of money
because it's not just a lot of money, but I think he was lied to last year from the way he feels about it. Or at least
total different coaching staff, different front office.
I get it, but if he wanted an opportunity to start last year and this year they go and draft a quarterback, I don't know if he's sticking around. I would say he's probably going to want to try the market and see if he can latch on as a starter somewhere. Maybe Las Vegas, something like that.
Not if Las Vegas trades up to the number 2 pick.
I agree with Pete.
Jesse has predicted here on this podcast today.
I said it was a hot take. It wasn't a prediction. It was a prediction.
Hot take. I agree with Pete here. I think people will be calling for Sam Howell for day 2 picks.
I think Sam Howell will get traded. A high third round pick is incoming for Sam Howell.
So if that is the case, then you draft the QB. We've got to have a veteran, but Tannehill's just not going to be the guy. He still wants to play. He's going to want too much money. Kirk Cousins is going to the Falcons, if not Justin Fields. Who else have we got out there? I mean, the only ones I've just mentioned there, Minshew, possibly.
Baker Mayfield is a free agent.
No, Baker Mayfield's going to go to the Bucs, definitely.
They'll keep him there.
100%.
They should go Flacco.
Yeah.
No, too old. You want someone who's going to hold a clipboard and be happy to get.
Did you watch him?
Yeah, I watched him. He was good.
All right,
but he was also good falling asleep on the bench. But
Mitchell Trubisky, Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota.
Yes. No, absolutely not.
Tyrod Taylor, I might think.
What's this love between y'all with Tyrod Taylor? What has he done to warrant anything?
Nothing. I want him to hold the clipboard
every single time.
Right. I want him to tell the new guy how
to be a Darnold. Right. Good shout, Pete. There you go.
If all he does is say, "Look, man, here's how you don't get punctured by a hypodermic needle by the training staff," I'm good with that. No. Sam Darnold.
No. Yeah, I'd go with Sam Darnold as a guy who's holding the clipboard. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. Deluxe. A vet could start, and that vet will be Jacoby Brissett.
Guy who's holding the clipboard. You know what? I'll tell you something. The thing I'd have a problem with, then I've fucked the vote. There we go. Now I'm back in focus.
I just want to draft JJ just to piss Scouse off. Darnold. That's really I really just hope that happens.
Sam Darnold, you got to pay extra money for the size of his helmet, and that's just something that I don't feel like true. He's
Which
a
helmet?
Blockhead. Which helmet?
Is he Tamarick Hemingway Mark II?
All right, let's see here. No, we're not even going there. All right, Easton.
Well, you talked about helmets. I mean,
let's see. Blaine Gabbert. Blaine. I would love to have Blaine just for the fucking song. Blaine. And I hope you guys have watched that. I've given you the link 100 times. It's
so
the
ridiculous.
greatest video
it is
ever.
so ridiculous.
Blaine.
Garrett Gilbert's available.
Kyle Allen. Hey, we've done that before, right? Trevor Seaman. I don't want Trevor Seaman.
Mason Rudolph. Wow.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph. Well, now
Do you know who is available though? Carson Wentz.
Yeah, well, there you go with that. All right, and I think that's enough spot to go ahead and let Keith go to sleep because we're done with this. Actually, Keith, you probably don't sleep early anymore because you're all freaking jacked up and ready to go any time of night now, aren't you?
What? No idea when this is going.
This has been the most awkward episode I've ever been on.
It has not, and I can prove that. So don't even start with me about that. I'm just trying to get you involved in the show so that you don't fall asleep. You look like you're in a time warp there. We all know what the back end of your house looks like. You don't.
Can our assistant QB's coach David Blau? Can he do the job?
He probably could. I mean, yeah, in a pinch.
Hold the clipboard.
Yeah. Hold the clipboard. They don't use clipboards anymore, Scotty. That's
okay.
Tablet. Yeah,
hold the tablet.
All right, so I guess next week we'll come back with some other
Microsoft Surface Pro. Ew.
There you go. Now we've just gotten sponsored by nobody. Thanks, Scott. Free advertising. I'd rather get paid for that. Anyway,
you were going to see a cent of that anyway. I'd get paid for that. Well, because you said the word for I said the word for like 4 seconds.
That's right.
Now.
Well,
how many times have we been sent things on this show about shaving men's balls? Probably loads.
Can you read this out? Yeah. I think if we're going to rename the stadium, if we're going to go corporate, let's go for something like Skippy Peanut Butter Field or Little Debbie Snack Cakes Stadium.
I was thinking Manscaped. I think
Manscaped Field. There you go. How about that? Manscaped Field. I think that we ought to go.
Or Nair.
That's
not
right.
Nair.
Nair. Creamy.
Nair.
Right, Monostat 7 Field.
I got one more question. Does Nair burn your balls?
Oof.
No, not if you leave it on for less than 5 minutes. It's fine.
How do you know?
God, it's so matter of fact. Oh, damn, let me tell you.
Because you do.
So matter of fact.
Because I've done it.
Oh, well, there you go. Oh, why not?
What's wrong with that?
All right.
You don't shave your balls? Come on, boys.
Yeah, shave my balls, but I don't nair them.
Oh,
that's what happens when you nair your balls.
Old Spice Fields. Yeah, maybe.
That's right. All right. Well, with the fact that we have now found out that Scott nairs his balls, we are going to end this show.
I don't nair him.
Now we've got a mystery. All right. And we'll come up with the answer for it next week. We'll think of a whole new reason to come out here and fucking entertain you people next weekend. Until then, we'll see you then. Thanks for showing up, Keith. We'll see you June 1st.
No one likes hairy balls. My wife's right.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
The check is in the mail. We get our Manscaped. What do we got? We made like 20 cents over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't even have it. Dude, Manscaped, we're saying your name. All right. That's the end of that. Later.